Hi, I'm Gary, Biker's PhD. So the question I get asked all the time is, why would I want to dual plug my shovel heads? What are the advantages to dual plugging my shovel heads? What are the disadvantages to dual plugging my shovel heads? So before we get started though, we're going to talk about that and hopefully answer those questions. But before we get started, I really want to just say, hey, thank you everybody that subscribed. Thank you for sharing my videos and telling your buddies about my videos. And I've got a lot of videos I've made. I need to edit them. I'm not real good at all that. I've been really busy at the shop, and I really want to thank you guys for sending in your heads to have them ported or to have them dual plugged, or just basically all the work, boring home the cylinders and all that stuff. I just want to say thank you. I'm a small business, and without your support, I can't do it. I can't make these videos. I can't stay in business. So thank you very much. So, dual plugging the shovel heads. Why would I want to dual plug the shovel heads? Well, I think there's a few things we need to know first. Let me just start with the shovel head. This is a stock shovel head, and you can see it has one spark plug here, and it has like a bowl for a combustion chamber, all right? So we need to understand the combustion chamber first, on this. And here's what's kind of going on, all right? Now, I'm no artist. I'm going to try and draw this out the best I can and explain this here. All right, this is a shovel head. This is your combustion chamber, all right? And you got a spark plug over here like this. All right, now your piston, and this is all exaggerated here. I'm not a very good artist, but anyway, that's your combustion chamber for the most part, all right? This is your cylinder here, all right? And so what happens is, as this piston is coming up, the spark goes off, the fuel that's in this combustion chamber, it lights it. So you can see it has to kind of come up and over and around that combustion chamber, which is a very inefficient combustion chamber. So what they have to do to try and get the fuel to burn in this is you advance the timing, You add more timing to it. And so that as the spark plug's coming up, that fuel's trying to light and get it all lit before the piston gets up to top center for that push. And that's kind of what's going on here, and that's why you see guys with the shovel head, they put a cam in it, they want to hop it up a little bit, and it's really hard to start. The start will go over and hit and really not go over, So Harley did start to improve. I think it's going to help if I show you some of this other stuff here. Harley did try to improve it, and they did. This is an evolution head. I've got one here. This is an evolution head. You can see the combustion chamber. It's a little bit different. All right, let's draw that out real quick. Show you what they got. And they position the spark plug a lot better. All right, so this is a shovel EVO head. So I'm no artist here, but this is kind of the combustion chamber on an EVO head. All right, and the piston they used is basically a flat top piston. Your stock EVO has a flat top piston. All right, there's your rod. And so what's happening is, if you look at this, your spark plug's over here, So your spark plug is positioned over here. All right, that's where your spark plug is on an evolution motor. So what's happening there is this combustion chamber, this is what you call a quench area, all right? And this is, if you math formulate this, let's just say this is a stock EVO, bone stock EVO, this is going to be about, they say it's 9.5 to 1, but if you did the math, you did the combustion chamber and everything, and you're looking at about 9 to 1 compression, all right? But what happens, the piston comes up and it tries to blow on the other side of this piston. You have half the piston exposed where everything's coming into, the other half is plugged off, like I said, with the quench area, and it tries to blow and circulate all this fuel up in here, direct it towards the spark plug. Where, see, this one has to kind of come over the piston and try and burn everything, from that standpoint. So it's very inefficient, where they did improve this and made this much more efficient, But, so you don't really need to ever dual plug an EVO head, although some guys do, will tell you. The problem you have with the EVO head, whoa, losing my board here. Problem you have with the EVO head here is, to get any kind of compression, you have to put this big dome piston on it like this. All right, that's kind of what they look like. Might have a picture of one I can show you. And then it cuts off that quench area, which is kind of bad. But we can modify that. If you send your EVO heads in, have them ported, we can modify that. EVOs run awesome. EVO's an awesome engine. and they run awesome. Now, the Twincam motor, this is a Twincam motor, all right? They've improved it a little bit more. You know, spark plugs over here, but you have a quench area, basically, even in the sides, you have it all the way around in this combustion chamber. So it's a much more efficient combustion chamber than what you have even with these. So you've got a cylinder real quick, this kind of looks like this, and this is what your piston looks like in this. So hear my bloodhound out, if you hear my bloodhound outside. But so anyway, you have a much more efficient, because you have a quench area that now is trying to blow towards the spark plug or into the combustion chamber here. Okay, so by dual plugging the shovel head, you're adding another spark plug in here. You're basically getting fuel. You're trying to burn that fuel from both sides to try and make it, even though it has no quench area, to get it over to it. That's why you only need one plug in these designed motors, and you really want to in here is to get that fuel burning efficiently. You know, if you're only burning 40% of what you're putting in this, you know, that's a lot of wasted fuel, that's a lot of wasted horsepower, okay? And it creates a lot of chance for detonation. All right, detonation is deadly to the lower end of the motor. I don't care what motor you got. Detonation is horrible on it. Okay, basically what's happening is the piston's coming up, and boom, the fuel that's left in the combustion chamber, it just goes off. Okay, before it ever even has a chance to get up, and you'll hear it sound like BB's hitting a frying pan, or that knock, 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 you know, the ping, 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 or whatever you want to call it. And it's really bad. So with the dual plugging, it allows you to one of the advantages to having in your heads dual plug is it allows you to retard the timing. So you can get that piston closer to top dead center before the spark goes off, and it's going to burn a lot higher percentage of the fuel that you're putting in there. So you're going to end up with it easier on the lower end. It's easier on the piston, it's easier on the rods, it's easier on the flywheels, basically easier on everything. It's going to start better, it's easier on the starter, because you know, if you've got an engine that's trying to fire here and it's still got to go here to start, you know, that's where you get that big grunt. Whereas if you're letting it come way up high, you know, and then boom, it can start. The spark doesn't have to go out off until later. The piston's higher up, it's got more speed, and they start way better. Trust me on that. If they're done right and everything's sealed up, you had a good valve job, 3-angle valve job, they really start really good. Shovel will just bang, fire. Well, all of them will. Any motor will. So that's one of the reasons why you end up with more, with better low end, better mid range, and better top end by getting these dual plugged. Okay, here's a set that we have machined for dual plugging. This is where the plug goes in. It's between the rods. We'll go over to my bike and I'll show you that here in just a minute. But you have basically now you have 2 spark plugs that are going to go in this motor. All right, and they're going to go off at the same time. You're just basically getting it a better ignite. So anyway, that's what it looks like. Like I said, we'll go over to the bike and I'll show you what it looks like on the bike. To send your heads in and have us dual plug them, it's $100. Okay, and that does both heads. You have to pay for shipping, but it's $100 to do both heads. And turnaround time's pretty quick on getting that done. So anyway, let's go over to the bike and we'll show you what it looks like. Okay, so as far as changing your plugs, let's start with that first. It's just a regular standard 13/16 socket. I got a cheap one at Harbor Freight, and then I cut it down on a lathe, but you can grind them down. Sometimes they just fit. Now, if you're going to go in between the push rod tubes, so it's just a matter of, here's where it's at. It's perfectly centered between the 2 push rod tubes, and then you can fit a socket right down in there and pull your plug in and out. So it's real easy to take the plugs in and out just like you would on the other side. Actually, this side's probably even easier, okay? And one of the other things is, if this would ever go bad, okay, because you are going to use a short reach plug on it, which if you do them right, they usually can last forever. But if the threads do go bad, the threads go bad, we can actually weld those up, fill them all in with new aluminum, and weld them up and remachine them out, and you'll never even know that they were repaired. Also can do that on the other side. If your original spark plug goes bad, we can also weld that up and make it look like nothing's ever been done. One of the other things we can do is we can repair fins. If your exhaust bolt, a lot of these get stripped out, busted off, we can weld those up, and we can also repair those. We actually use aluminum. Got a TIG welder, we heat them up, we weld them, remachine them out, blend them in. In fact, this one right here, on this rear here, I don't know if you can zoom in on that a little bit, that's actually been one that this whole section here was all busted out. See if I can find a picture of that. And then I welded it up and we repaired it, threaded it. But anyway, that's about all there is to dual plug and a set of heads. If you got any questions on that, feel free to give me a call. Welding up and repairing a plug hole is $65. That basically takes care of everything. So anyway, God bless you. Have a great day. Thanks a lot. Hit the subscribe